I love watching some Gamer Legion versus Gamer Legion because it's easy clickbaits for you guys on the YouTube side of things. And if you are enjoying what you see on the YouTube side of things, make sure you subscribe. 3 videos a day, and after you're done with this one, go through the recommendeds, or at least click at the end for more videos, because I can guarantee you there's definitely more of these lads, because we're going to have Viper and Jordan. That's right. China versus China as well. So this one looked like it might be exciting. 2 different takes, because remember that Viper has been grinding out hardcore on Age of Empires 4, sitting up in the top 50. Meanwhile, I'd say Jordan's been having a bit of a harder time on it. A little bit of teething issues. I think he was a little bit later to pick up Age of Empires 4 compared to a lot of his comrades. Obviously, a little bit more committed on the AoE 2 front at times. And as a result, Jordan is still trying to climb up. Jordan is not top 100. He's 155, though, and that's a big improvement. I think just a day or 2 ago, he was up at, down rather, at 255. So already gaining 100 spots and quick on the climb with 220 games played. For reference, his opponent, TheViper, the Snake Master, the Snake Singer here, right? Sitting 21st on the leaderboards, 1,824 ELO rating, 313 games played. Apparently, Viper does not smurf. I'm not 100% convinced. Maybe it's just that he's been committing a lot to AoE 2. Remember, the King of the Desert tournament happened a few weeks ago, so he would have been kind of busy with that, prepping for that. So maybe that slowed down the rate of games he was getting in. But 313, that doesn't strike true. If it is true, that just speaks volumes to how much of a boss Viper is. The way he's quickly adjusted to this game, and the way he's quickly just dominating opponents that have 2-3 times the games on the specialist civs. Not necessarily a specialist civ matchup in this one, of course, as Jordan still finding his footing, still finding out what does or doesn't work. But as we said, quick on the rise. And here on Black Forest as well, this should be a fun one. China versus China can get quite funky in this. Sometimes it just comes down to a Fire Lancer rush. Those ones can be a bit of a snooze fest. But we do sometimes get treated to a beaut of a game, right? Where there's this diversification. I think the one that most clearly comes to mind is a series between Marine Lord and I believe it was Vortex in the recent tournament that EGC ran. If you haven't seen that replay, by the way, check it out. Absolutely amazing game between those 2 players. And it was China Black Forest. And the way it ends, I'm not going to spoil it for you. It's too fantastic. You need to go watch it. You would not expect it in the current meta for that to be the way a game gets decided. So definitely go check that one out if you haven't already. After this, though. So opening-wise, how are we looking? Is there any difference really right now? Wow. Yeah, more people for Viper on the wood front. And I think he did get his, wow, he got his dot down sooner. And Jordan is struggling right now. And I was about to say, this is the difference. I've talked about this so many times. It's actually a huge difference. And this is exactly the type of difference I expect to spot between a top 30 player, right, and a top 200 player. Jordan moved straight out, dropped a lumber camp on this wood line. Right? So not only did you spend 50 wood, you had to run ages away, and every time you build a villager, they have to do the same. Meanwhile, good players are doing exactly what Viper is doing right now. Straggler trees. I know it's a meme. I know there's a lot of arguments, especially in AoE 2, if you should do it or not. Honestly, though, in Age of Empires 4, this is 100% something you should be engaging with on Black Forest. Black Forest is one of these maps that gives you straggler trees right next to your TC. Exploit that. Use that for your initial influx, right? Because that's 150 wood on each of these. And the reason that's important is because if you don't do it, you probably won't be able to sustain your initial fishing vessels out of the dock. What he's doing here is he's getting the surplus wood at the start of the game to be able to afford the dock, afford the initial boats, and then with another group of villagers, look at the split, he sends them across to make the lumber camp. All the while still collecting with a few back here to ensure he always has enough, just enough to eke out that advantage and keep a non-stop production of fishing boats coming out. And also this is the other thing he's doing. Look, he's actually going for the walling. This I'm less of a fan of, and he's investing 3 villages in doing it. Look, each one going out. Now, this might work against less aware players, but we've already seen the counter to this at the highest level. Wall goes down. Damn you! You've walled me. Oh wait, I can just cut a tree here and walk around. Yeah, that's an option, folks. So we'll have to see if Jordan is wise to this or if he's just going to fall victim to it. I don't know if this is his first time experiencing it because we don't really see much of this map right now, right? I feel like Black Forest more rarely pops up in the matchmaking ever since they nerfed it by removing, or fixed it, shall we say, because it was kind of ridiculous the way it was before, by removing the sacred sites. I mean, honestly, guys, Delhi on this map with Sacred Sites was absurd. And that was before people started figuring out Compounder Defender. Could you imagine Delhi on this map with Compounder Defender and Sacred Sites to defend? Hey, I don't want to think about it. A lot of nattering going on between these two lads. So 7 fishing boats on one side, 9 on the other. Remember that China benefits even more from escalating their economy on water, courtesy of the fact that their docks work 20% faster. So remember, fishing boats usually take 25 seconds. It takes 20 seconds. It also becomes harder to manage in your early economy, and it adds even more credence to what we said about straggler trees. Because remember that ever since the more recent patches, fishing boats went up from 60 wood to 75. And because you're producing them quicker, it means that you need an even bigger income of wood in the early game to keep non-stop production. And that adds even more credence to the importance of these straggler trees next to your TC as your opening gathering point for your wood line. The reason he didn't go through the rest of these straggler trees, by the way, is because as the Chinese, you of course use these Imperial officials to get an extra 20% at the drop-offs. So you need to have an actual building to do that with. You can't, I don't think you can actually like supervise the TC. I've never seen someone supervise the TC. Maybe I'm wrong. It might just be that they build it so quickly. I've never tried myself personally. But basically, you come out, you build a lumber camp, and you're able to now supervise this, and it means that every drop-off is going to be 12 instead of 10. I do expect wheelbarrows to be researched fairly fast. I think it's an incredibly powerful tool, and a lot more players are becoming wise to it and picking it up a lot sooner. And I think because they both got their hands on the Imperial Palace, they could easily choose to do that. It's just a case of whether they want to hoard that extra gold to begin with. Remember, it's 150 gold, and you do kind of want to get quickly into your secondary feudal age if you want to go for the Song Dynasty, or you might be looking for a Castle Age rush. In this game, by the way, I'm totally fine with going back for Song Dynasty and TC booming. I think this is a very popular map for it because you've got these easily defensible choke points. I do think that if you want... My god, they are non-stop talking, by the way. I wish we could see this. Please, if World's Edge, Relic, if one of the employees finds this, give me a way in replays to see the chat logs. I'm feeling left out. It's breaking my heart. But anyway, as we were saying, if you go back for the Song Dynasty benefits in this one, which, for those that are wondering, the main one is you get a 35% reduction in the time it takes to produce villages. If you go back for that by building the Barbican Sun now, the way I'm a fan of doing this, usually Barbican Sun first, then Imperial Academy when you're feeling like you need to defend. If not, and the other way around, use this as an excuse to drop the Barbican of the Sun in an aggressive location. Because for a start, China builds faster anyway, so you can justify it. So for example, this Barbican of the Sun that Viper's going to drop, I would love to see it be over here, right? Towards the center gold vein at least. On one of these choke points into his base. I don't want to see him drop a Barbican of the Sun right next to his base here. He could even go very aggressive, move out into this double gold vein location, or look to cut off this central choke point. And while it would take a while to run a villager there, like we said, China... One of the big perks they have is that their villagers build twice as fast. So far, though, no one going for that second feudal just yet. It looks like Jordan is going to ignore it. So he's just going to boost up, and I think Viper's doing the same. So they understand that this game is going to get aggressive fast, right? The reason being is that because Viper has walled in Jordan, Jordan has to actually be present with some type of units. You see he's already cutting his way out. He wants to have options. And then Viper, as a result, will assume that now that he sees that Jordan's doing this, there's going to be some sort of aggression, which means he can't hang around and get Song Dynasty. If you try to TC boom, you'll be at a disadvantage. Because the other thing is you can't wall yourself in, as we just saw, right? You send a villager out, you cut the trees to get around, bada bing, bada boom, I've solved your wall in. So the reason that they're doing this, instead of being greedy boomers, is because even if you wall, it's not going to stop your opponent for as long as you actually need to get value out of TC booms. So tech up. Jordan gets there first. Economy is still stronger for Viper, though. Yeah, look at the food front. Wood doubling up for Jordan, but the food is juicy for Viper right now, and the gold. Remember, he got that eco lead on the water. Viper now up to a 4-unit lead. And if we look at this, it's 12 fishing boats compared to, 14. Oh, my God. Wow. This is not how you want to play this, folks. If you're Jordan in this situation, just pay the 150. Pay the Piper. Get a second dock down. You're losing out on so much effective food coming in, right? Yes, I know they carry a lot of 40 each, but look how long it is before they travel back in this situation. In this configuration for Viper, he still has these deep water fishes. He actually dropped this dock next to 2 deep water fish, and that's why he's a lot better off. Jordan seemed to misread his lake at the start, and I think he only had 1 close by. In fact, no, he had none. Yeah, so this was his closest one here, and it wasn't even that close, as you can see. And now he's stuck waiting for it to regen. Only up to 60 at this point. Rax on the front. Jordan. Oh, I love this move. His opponent was already prepped, though. One Rax here, being supervised. And there is supervision on the front, but Jordan needs to be careful. This is very risky. Having the Imperial Official up this forward, the base up this forward. If you lose the Imperial Official, you're not replacing him. It's a long walk. And you can see he's almost dead to the Nest of Bees. The Nest of Bees is the edge. That's another element here, right? Jordan, he's not playing on the home field here. He's playing aggressive, which means that his opponent can react with military units that are slow, like the Nest of Bees, like Springles. He can counteract exactly what Jordan was going to show up with. Wow, nice snipe out. 3 villagers gone just like that. Outpost is not complete in time, and this is a problem now. Jordan, he's going to lose this fort base. That's 150 wood times 2. Then you've got the 100 wood for the outpost. That's 3 villagers lost, which is effective economy lost. And he has to run away with the Palace Guard. Really nice defense out of Viper. Now Jordan, in an uncomfortable situation, needs to build military infrastructure back at his base because those were the only buildings he built, right? Those 2 racks. And the Imperial Official is genuinely, like, most appropriately represented here with a Z's above his head. It seems that someone has forgotten about his existence, and he might just die. Yep, splash is too good. Another 150 food. So after all that, Jordan loses out on 700 wood. Sorry, not 700 wood, 400 wood, as well as 300 food. So 700 resource overall just wasted. And that, for reference, is more than a Nest of Bees cost. And this Nest of Bees will find more value as he pushes out. So mistakes made by Jordan there. That works in certain certain situations. In a Civ on Civ mirror matchup, I just don't like it. I think it's such a gambly play in a fairly even game. It's almost like Viper was telling him how many boats he had, and then Jordan was like, "Oh crap, I'm behind," and then he was angry about it. That's why I'm wondering what the typing was. Did something drive him to this? Something he talked about with Viper here? Because it was a very jump-the-gun type move. And now, as a result, he has to replace the infrastructure. And Viper can take control of the mid-section of the map. He could even go back for the Barbican of Sun. Like we said, this would be a really cool situation to drop one aggressively outside your opponent's base. And then you are able to produce even more villages as well. But instead, he's going for Spirit Way. Wow. Okay. Oh, wow. Wow, this is fast. What the hell, Viper? Jordan isn't ready for this at all. And yeah, this is the difference. Look, if you wonder whether tech's worth getting, this is the difference. Viper, he went for the level 1 techs. It did give him the edge, and it's allowed him to tech up into Imperial Age, and Jordan is not ready for this. He has to start building Nest of Bees and a Springald. But now quality is going to be there for Viper. Viper also has options at his disposal, right? Now you can see he's got access to the previous Dynasty units. He could build in the stables now. He could go into the Lancers. But instead, it's going to be the Clock Tower Bombards. Perfect to snipe out these Springalds. Now the forward outpost as well. Just trying to play that vision game. Viper wants to be able to kind of curve his shots around, look over the tree lines and not be seen. However, Jordan moving in will spot out what's happening. It's so quick though. China, they don't waste any time building. Nest of Bees. And the lines engage. Edge is going to be there for Jordan, but not for long. Once it's upgraded, these Palace Guard are just going to make mincemeat of you if you're the blue. And that's why you see him starting to back up. Viper should almost be done. Is he even teching up? No, he's not. He's sticking around. But he has got the Bombard coming, remember. And that'll be able to snipe out the Springald. Springald backs away just in time, though. But the Palace Guard army is going to be lost for Jordan. Once again, losing the fight. The garrisoning in the outpost is going to push the Nest of Bees away. Bombard still chasing, looking for a shot, won't be able to find it. Every time just out of range. But once again, Jordan is pushed in. And Jordan can't afford to now tech up. He has to field a big enough army to defend with. Remember, he just lost his Palace Guard again. He needs to replace them. And now the outpost crawl begins. Viper understands. He just needs a foothold, and then he can move forward from there. Bombard. Whiffs on a Palace Guard unit here. Ooh, Nest of Bees not going to be able to do it. Backing away, looking at Garrison in the outpost. Where's the Palace Guard right now, though? Are they... Has he not replaced them? Is he upgraded them? Where are they? He doesn't care. He's just going to repair the Bombard. In the meantime, the Bombard's going to snipe out the Springalds. And you're not even focusing. Look at this. Jordan, what are you doing? Attack the villages. Oh, it's too late now, bud. You're done. 204 damage per shot is enough to snipe the Palace Guard one by one. And Viper just might kill him off of Bombards alone. He has no answer. Oh my, I can't believe this is working. Viper, you know, we talk about tech ups giving that quality advantage. Usually it's the units mirroring, right? But in this situation, Viper's like, nah, I don't really need Palace Guard. I mean, elite status, that's pricey. 700 gold, that's a bombard. Why would I do that? So he just builds bombards instead, and it is working. What a treat. And so quickly walling in his opponent now. Give himself a gate. To ride on out through. And yeah, Jordan beaten to the punchline. He was trying for similar. He wanted to buy some time here. I think he wanted to gather on the stone outcropping, then immediately drop a wall. Unable to do so. And this is getting so uncomfortable for the blue player. Jordan is in problem town. More outposts. This outpost crawl out of Viper. The main purpose is a save point for the villagers and vision for the bombards. It's all about the bombards. And we've seen bombards used to end games before, but usually it's a part of a composite force, right? There's a front line, there's a strong arm, there's like horse slash whatever there is, and it's just you now trying to like close out the game. Instead, it is just bombards and villagers winning this game. He's so close to his base now. I just don't know what you do. The other detail here is you can't shoot long-range or springles, right? The bombards can choose and dictate the terms you fight on, and that's enough. That convinces him it's done. What a play out of Viper. Beautiful understanding of the game. Jordan gets caught off guard. Really sucks for him with the placement of the dock to start with. He was always behind Viper on this one, but what an amazing boom up, right? What an amazing play, understanding that because his opponent all in on this double racks at the hit into castle age, just putting a dent in that, preventing that, shutting that out straight away, put him in such a strong arm position that he didn't need to worry about juking out on castle. He could boom up into Imperial. And once he gets there, it is boom. It's literally boom boom. That's all he wants, is to give a little bit of boom boom to Jordan in this game. And it works out. It gives him the win. I love it. It's actually impressive to me because a lot of the time when we see these strategies, like we said, around the bombards, it's an element that comes into play later to close out the game. And while it did close out the game, the way it done it is so unorthodox. Just villages and bombards. After that, that initial cluster of Palace Guard dies, notice that Viper never builds another military unit other than bombards. And that is good enough to win the game. That's impressive to me, the way he played that. And that gives you insights into other ways you can use the Chinese. We've seen Palace Guard zerging around. We've seen Fire Lancers being so powerful, right? We still haven't seen Grenadiers, but you know what? We've seen their cannon buddy now. We've seen cannons themselves be really effective with the wall crawl. And that's the important detail. You need to combine those two, because if you do so, it means that the springles aren't ever able to snipe you out, remember, because they can't shoot through stone walls. So all you have to do as Viper is you peek your head out. You're like, anybody around, fire the bombard. You can snipe out springles, you can snipe out units, buildings. And also, if you ever get raided, if there's any too many Palace Guard, cavalry, whatever there is coming in, all you have to do is pull back behind the wall and you're safe. And you buy time. And then you build tower defenses, you build outposts. If need be, you build in the different units to defend yourself. But ultimately, you're always putting Jordan in a position with this type of configuration where he's the one responding, where he's the one that has to do something better. And he's never able to do enough to force Viper out of this game, and it gives him a pretty easy-looking win here on Black Forest.